loves, welcome to my channel. Today I am making some rosettes. I had lots of requests for like DIY things, tags, rosettes, embellishments, stuff like that. So I hope I am kind of succeeding in that. I'm trying to do as much as I can, and I have an awesome kit this month as always from the Wild Hare kits. If you're interested to see what products I'm working with, you can check them out. I posted the video on April 2nd. So yeah, I'm making rosettes. These are pretty easy to make once you get the hang of it. At first they can be a little stubborn, but this time they were a little bit easier, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes once I get to it. But I cut each strip of paper to 1 1/4 inches, so 12 by 1 1/4. And I'm going to score it at every 1/2 inch. So I'm doing that for all of the papers. It does get a little tedious, but it helps it go by faster when you do it in like steps and do all of them, like all the papers at once. I find it that at least. So I picked out some papers that I thought would look nice, and I'm going to make these rosettes. So the next step is you're going to do like a mountain and valley fold, or like a fold like a fan, or whatever you want to call it. Back and forth, back and forth. I'm sure there's like a special way that you have to like fold and glue everything, but honestly, as long as it all attaches together, then that works for me. And I use hot glue with this. Adhesive like tape runners, I don't think would work well unless you have like really strong tape, which you very well might have. Mine's definitely not strong enough to hold it. You could use some wet glue, but it just takes longer to dry. I mean like the non-hot stuff. I use a hot glue gun and it dries pretty fast. So that's what my preference is. And so the thing that made it easier this time, because the part I usually have trouble with is to attach the rosette in a circle onto my little, you see those little circle scallops that I punched out. The hardest part I usually find is to attach it to those pieces. But I couldn't find my regular little circle punch, so I used this scallop punch instead, which is a little bit bigger than the regular circle punch I use. And I found that worked so much better. I didn't have to do one on each side. I just did it on the back. And then what I did was put a lot of glue in the middle, and then I could lift up the scallop paper and put it on top, and I was able to center it, and I just kind of hold it down for a while until I feel like it's starting to dry, and I put something heavy on top of it just to help it move along more. I felt like I had more control than I normally do. So yeah, I definitely recommend that, to use something a little bit bigger. And then just for extra security, I put a little bit of hot glue in the middle of each one, just a little bit, just to kind of hold it together. I don't know if it helped. Sorry about my head. I did not realize how close I was until I hit my head on my camera on my phone. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to start decorating now as well. And I am going to add lots of foam to the back of some of the pieces that I'm adding to add some dimension, and yeah, it definitely adds a little bit more of a flair to it. And I'm going to add some thread as well to give it a different texture so it's not all papery, and I think that helps. So I have some pink thread that's just in my stash, and yeah, I'm going to start embellishing, which is always the fun part. I really love how these turned out. I think they're really fun. I do use a little extra hot glue for security because these are pretty heavy-duty embellishments, so I want to make sure that they're secure and everything is glued together properly, and I'm not going to have to worry about things falling apart, especially if I'm sending these off in the mail, and I want to make sure that it gets to my pen pal safely and as a whole. So yeah, and I'm going to use these great freckled fawn stickers that I love. I just haven't found too many uses for them yet with the projects I've made this month. But I'm going to I think I just put the word hi or something. And then some enamel dots as well. And I used a little heart punch to punch out a heart that I kind of, I like folded up the edges of it so that there's a little bit more dimension. And when you use a hot glue gun, it gives just a little bit of dimension anyway, as opposed to just regular adhesive, which I think is great. Excuse me. And I use the other side of the paper for this rosette that you're seeing right now. So then I knew it would go well together. And I'm going to use this little tag. It's from the Sunny Days Maggie Holmes ephemera. And use some of the string that I got in my kit to put through the tag. Again, just a different texture, putting up a lot of things on foam, layering things. Some things will get hidden. Some things you might not be able to see the entire time or in the entire project. But it will look really nice in the end. Then I put this acetate piece on, and I realized I probably shouldn't have used hot glue on it because it kind of bent funny because it's like plastic or whatever, but it worked out. It worked out in the end. And I'm going to put that watermelon on it, the chipboard. I love having different textures, not just paper, but having different kinds of material on it. And then, of course, some enamel dots. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sorry, I can't get through a video without sneezing. It's like the worst. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've always been this way. So I'm going to do lots of layers again on this next rosette and use lots of foam. Oh yeah, I do end up putting that acrylic piece on that first one. I'm so sorry. Okay, yeah, and I put that acrylic piece on that one because I was just digging through my ephemera and I totally forgot I had those. And yeah, so I think that looks good on top. And again, using lots of foam, putting everything up to elevate it a little bit. And using lots of different pieces to layer and using the thread again. And of course, using my hot glue again. And everything is going to be really secure. And I almost put that the wrong way. I guess it totally wouldn't have mattered, but it wouldn't have totally mattered. But then some of the string got caught underneath the hot glue, so I had to quickly bring it out before it hardened that way or dried that way. And I do cover up that word beauty, and I put this piece of ephemera over top. And not that I didn't like that, I just wanted another layer, and it just so happened to kind of cover it up, but that's all right. I do love the shapes of all the different pieces of ephemera, and I think it worked out pretty well. And of course, some enamel dots again. I'm running low on my enamel dots, but I do have some in my stash if I need to bring it out to make my kit last just a little bit longer. And then I take another punched heart, and I thought I was done with this one, but then I just kept going a little bit further, and I added this little airplane on it that I thought looked really cute, and just another layer. More dimension, the bigger the better, I guess. And because there was an airplane, I was gonna put the word go on it, but it didn't fit. It just didn't look nice. So I kind of stopped there. But here's the finished product. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.